The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is just Adam Pick'em Scorchers, where you can get a cool 100x. Look, that's $5 to $500 in one game. Plus, every Sunday they're giving away $100,000. I gotta get my $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Last minute tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. And we are giving away $3,000 in our NFL Second Chance Survivor Contest presented by Corey Pinkston and Barking Dog Properties. Free to enter. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain around Terrell from Virginia here at your service.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
And you know I have my co-host with me, Scott Studio Rochelle. Scott, what's going on?
Beat me up.
Surprise.
Doing pretty well. Looking forward to Game 3. The sad news is that if the Liberty don't turn it around, this is the last game of the season. So that kind of sucks. But we'll see if the Liberty can survive and force a Game 4. We'll see what happens. Besides the fact that, one, we want to handicap more games. B, we're also Liberty fans, so we do hope that they can hang around. I'm a bit skeptical, but we'll see what happens. We'll get into that during the game preview. But, yeah, looking forward to the matchup. Just think it's going to be, at least it better be more entertaining than Game 2. If it's not, then I'll be really disappointed because that was an awful Game 2 in general from a fan's perspective. Betting-wise, it was good. I went 2-1. One block, I had the aces, lost to the dog, had Plum 25, and she had 23, which sucked. But they were also, I mean, it was unfortunate. She fell a little bit short. And I had point got assists as my prop, and she got over 7.5 pretty easily. So pretty good episode for me. Ended up going 2-1, but once again, seeing the Liberty get buried by about 30 points in the first quarter wasn't that fun.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'll say I'm not surprised they got smoked because it just seems like that happens like every now and then. Like every very good series, you probably have those blowout home games where the home team is just clicking on all cylinders and the other team on the road just doesn't get together. And so I think it was one of those situations where it was just kind of like those aces blowout games. And that's kind of where I'm thinking about this game today because we have, Game 3 of this series, aces up 2-0, coming over to the Liberty. Total the line is -2.5. I saw it -3.5 earlier this week. It's at -2.5. 172.5 is total. That stayed true. But really, I think that the only way you can play this, Liberty got to come up big in this spot, right?
I think they got to at least start out big. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it for a full 40, but you have to at least show some sense of urgency in the first 10, 20 minutes.
You can't not. Like, this is literally the season. And for everything that you've heard, because if you sit here and you look at, this playoff run, the Aces have not lost a game still. But you sit here and you look at when you talk about, you have the two super teams. Everybody's talking about this Liberty team on the rise. They put this team together to be able to compete with the Aces. And then you go to the spot. We wait all season for you to compete with the Aces and you fumble both games on the road, which, a series never starts until you win a road game. But they win a road game here and the series is over. And so I think
it starts and ends in the same day.
Yeah, very much so. So I think that this is a spot where the Liberty get up. I'm with you at the very least in the first half. Like the Liberty are really good after a loss. This was their last game, Game 2 of the WNBA Finals. Is the first time all season that the Liberty have lost back-to-back games. And so I gotta think they get up at this spot at home. Like I think the defensive intensity is going to be there behind that home crowd. I think that they're going to be able to shoot the ball. I've seen this team get up for the Aces at home in person. I've seen it. It's really, really crazy, and I can't get that picture out of my mind. Uh, I think that they go up big, and at the very least, I'm with you. At the very least, by half. But I gotta go Liberty in this spot. Like I just can't. I can't imagine them getting swept after just knowing that they can compete with this team, knowing that they are, the quote unquote super team. Does this team have holes to fill? Did they probably screw themselves out of a championship this year? Yes and yes, but I don't think that in this spot, coming back home after down 0-2 in the WNBA finals with that home crowd, with Barclays, with the first WNBA finals game in Brooklyn and who knows how long. Yeah, I think this is a spot we got to back Liberty here. It's ugly. It's nasty. I feel really bad because I've given out Liberty all three and I'm 0-2 right now, but I can't not bet them in this spot.
Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of decipher Sandy Brondello's quotes after game two, because she had a couple of quotes which kind of made it sound like the team, I don't want to say quit, but it just seemed like they weren't as engaged as she wanted them to be. Obviously, I mean, they lost by about 30 points in a finals game. But just to read off some of the quotes, that just the overlying theme seemed to be, it just seemed like the team didn't really have much pride. It just seemed like it was willing to just completely fall apart as soon as they faced any adversity in game two, which is really not even game two, the second half in game one. It just felt like the Aces flipped the switch after the first half, and the Liberty haven't really responded to it. And that's a bit concerning because it's been about 6 straight quarters they've been cooked in, simply put. So I don't really feel that optimistic, but I do think if I had to pick a side for the full game, I would lean to the Aces, because 2.5 does feel a little bit short against a team that basically quit on the road. But I do think I have to look at the Liberty first half, because we talk all the time in the NBA playoffs. It's one of the most well-known trends there is in actual playoff betting. It's teams down 2-0 to lead at the first half in game three. Because you're assuming the desperate team's going to show up at home. The crowd atmosphere is going to help them out. And maybe you'll see a little bit of a lazy effort by the team up 2-0, because in the back of their mind, they think they won the series already. So it's kind of the same spot where I think the Liberty will show up for the first 20 minutes, but over the course of the final 20 and over the course of the full 40, do I think the Liberty are going to fully be able to match the Aces? I don't, because I don't think Brondello's that good. And I've said it for months. I think that Becky Hammon is the best coach in this league by a country mile. And I think Sandy, is it a hot take if I say she's on the hot seat? Probably not, because I think it is a hot take because she made the finals. But
it's only year one. If she doesn't win a championship at the end of year two, I think she's 100% either, if not on the hot seat, gone. But
because I think
year
on one
one,
hand, you made the finals. On the other hand, if you get embarrassed this badly in the finals, that kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. I don't think she's a
because
great
somebody's
coach.
got to be to blame. You got to blame
Yeah.
somebody. You can't get swept in the finals after being, this is the matchup everybody's been waiting for all year. You can't get swept and then think
It's also
that.
the manner of getting swept. If you lose every game by about like 10, 15 plus points, that's embarrassing. That's on the coach.
All right. Is next episode that we do going to be a season recap and 2024 look ahead, or is it going to be a game for preview?
The Liberty better try to find out if we're going to do another episode on an actual game.
I think we're doing a game for a preview.
I hope we are, but I am still going to lean to the Aces.
So Scott says that we are doing a season wrap up next episode. I have us doing a game for a preview. And I'm also here to talk to you about Second Chance Survivor. We're giving up $3,000. Giving out $3,000. Winner take all in our Second Chance Survivor. And this is for the people that, maybe week one, they decided to take who's somebody that got embarrassed in week one. Maybe they went Seahawks. A lot of people was backing the Seahawks thinking the Rams were going to be really bad this year as 5.5 point favorites. They were out week one. A lot of people took the Bills and they're out week one. And so, yeah, I think that now you have the
you
opportunity
any survivor
here.
pools, or you need the second chance?
So I didn't even get a Survivor entry in this year. When by the time it started, I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't, so I'm not in a pool. So I'm definitely doing well. This is my first chance, which is very very unlucky for the people because now I only had one chance and now I'm about to go win. But hey, we can all out here. It's all good fun. I've been peeking ahead at this week 7, trying to decide who I wanted to take. I really wanted to back the Titans after everybody's looking at them look so bad, but they did the smart thing and took the bye after London, and so I don't know, man. The Patriots are probably going to get this win with the close your eyes special this week. So Bills next week just feels like an auto play. I'm just not even going to think about it. I just might have to go Bills and chop it up.
That was the tricky part for my current Survivor pools because the Bills play the Giants this week, but I kind of want to save them for New England next week. So I got to figure out how to piece it all together.
If New England wins today, I think there's no shot that I'm not taking the Bills.
Are you gonna make it to the parade for New England when they win a football game against the Raiders today? They might have a parade in the streets. You know?
I'm not allowed in the area. Boston Celtics fans have, put my mugshot. Yeah, my mugshot's up over there. It's like wanted dead or alive. So not really my speed for me to show up there. But sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
They hated him because he spoke the truth.
Hey man, I mean, I haven't been wrong yet. I'm waiting on this championship that they keep talking about since 2008, but I haven't been wrong yet. So sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. $3,000 up for grabs. Winner take all in our second chance survivor contest. Presented by Corey Pinkston and Barking Dog Properties. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just introduced Scorchers, giving you go 5 for 5. Pick'em Scorchers, enjoy a nice 100x payout. Plus, for a limited time only, Underdog's extending the first deposit bonus up to $500. And you have 100K Sundays where 10 lucky people, 10 very, very lucky people. And I just want to know what that feeling is like to look at my Underdog account and see $10,000 up there. They will win $10,000. When you sign up, use promo code SGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. All right. It's been over City here. Is there any shot for an under?
I think the only argument you could make for the under would be if Game 3 follows the same exact script as the Wings Game 3 did against the Aces, where the Aces kind of come out a bit flat offensively. You see a rock fight break out, but you see the Liberty hang in there because they make the game ugly. And I feel like that's an argument you could make because we know the Wings, despite not being as good as the Liberty, they were also a hyper aggressive and fast offense that was very good throughout the course of the year. So that game was completely against everything the Wings normally do because I guess they decided at home, we got to make it ugly and we got to make this, a very physical game and we have to make our presence known. And you can make an argument that maybe the Liberty under the same conditions are going to try to muddy the game up. The problem is, I don't know if the Liberty know how to win games that are muddied up because they also like to play very up-tempo. They're a pretty finesse team. I know that John Quell can dominate on the glass and so can Brianna, but offensively, they're a pretty finesse team. They like to shoot a lot of jump shots. They tend to, I don't want to say they don't really take many layups, but it does feel like a lot of their points are initiated by the guards, and they'll try to kick it down low, but it's mostly perimeter stuff. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, not all the time, but it's more of like it's a lot of backdoor cuts. Like when you get to it's not really just one player driving ISO drive or anything like that.
I think they work a lot more mostly from the outer in. That's
yeah, and so they'll get a lot of backdoor cuts from the perimeter and get the ball inside like that, or they'll sometimes post up Jacquard Jones, but it's not the ground and pound, in body you in the paint type of offense. Absolutely not. And so
so that's why I kind of have a hard time of believing it's going to follow the same script as the Wings Game 3 did against the Aces, because the Liberty just have to, honestly, the style might not be the issue. They just have to play better.
I think give me Liberty team total over, man. I think they just make the shots. I think
they just have to. I mean, you're at home, you're assuming they're going to show up. The Aces defensively have been fine, but the Liberty have also just looked completely disoriented offensively for the entire series. So I think I'm going to have to lean to the
I don't know. If they lose this game, I don't know what's to be excited about for next season.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can say that you're excited about. I don't know what
Candace Parker hasn't even played in like 3 months, and they're one game away from just losing. They're one game away from sweeping the playoffs, and Candace Parker hasn't played a single game. You know how wild that is?
It's pretty crazy.
So I'm just saying, there's nothing to be excited about for the Liberty if they get buried at home in Game 3 and that carries over. I don't think Sandy's a good coach, but this is a good spot for her to at least win one game because maybe the Aces are already fantasizing
she's got to coach
about
this game. If they just make their shot, she ain't got to coach. Like
that's fair, but I'm saying I think the Aces could also maybe be already fantasizing about the confetti. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to lean to the over. I don't feel great about it, but I do think it's pretty interesting that the Liberty, after getting buried in the final 6 quarters, are only 2.5 at home.
If this doesn't go right, Sandy Brondello will probably be coaching one of the expansion teams in 2020.
So you think that her job is actually on the line if they lose Game 3 or get blown out in Game 3?
I don't think it's on the line, but if they don't win this game, I can't possibly see any situation where they're just completely better next year and it is anything different. Like I really can't see it. Like you got to figure it out. Like you got to figure it out in this game for me.
I think it's I don't want to compare it to like Missoula against Spolstra or like Budenholzer against Spolstra, but you're watching these games and you're just like, oh, Sandy doesn't have a chance. At least the first 2 games is what I've noticed. So I'm hoping for her pride perspective, she can put together a good game.
But Missoula actually sucks.
Yeah, no, Missoula sucks.
I don't think Sandy sucks. I just think
Sandy's
that
not bad,
she gets exposed. She gets
Yeah.
exposed, just like in another Winning Time reference when Jack McKinney exposed Paul Westhead. That's what she's doing. She's just getting exposed. All right, Scott, let's get into player props. Let's she cashed for his last game. They want Jacquel Jones to have a good game, and they would prefer to limit everybody else. I don't see another situation where Jacquel Jones doesn't go off again today.
Well, John Quell's been the only player who's shown up on a regular basis for the Liberty, so she's cool in my book as far as I'm concerned because he's still doing her thing with the points and the rebounds. I guess my question for you is, if you are picking the Liberty to win, are you picking Brianna to go nuts? Are you picking Ionescu, all the above? Because I feel like MVP kind of has to show up in a home elimination game, doesn't she?
I think it's everybody, but I'm done with MVP, bro. I don't trust MVP. I'm really good. I don't trust MVP at all. Give me.
And Becky's been constantly making comments about Asia and how 3rd place was a joke in the MVP. It just feels like.
So I actually think there's a world of possibility where Asia comes out here and has 40 today.
I feel like, once again, that kind of goes back to how good Becky Hammond is because she's also a good motivator. And it appears that Sandy can't motivate anybody because the Liberty have no-showed the last 6 quarters of the finals in a series. But Hammond just feels like she has a completely fundamental understanding of her team. She knows exactly how to push her team. She knows exactly how not to push her team. And it feels like Sandy spent the entire regular season kind of like half tinkering, but doesn't really know how to deal with any adversity at all. And that's kind of concerning for me. But I think Asia could be in line for a good game, but it also depends, once again, if you think the Liberty are fully able to give the effort that they need to give to avoid elimination at home. Because we've seen at home, the Liberty can beat this Aces team quite comfortably. But it is the finals, and there are some questions about the overall pride and just overall mental fortitude of this Liberty team. I hope they show up, but we'll see. You think they're going to show up?
So,
right?
Like I was saying, well, I think they'll show up. So, Jacquel Jones, I like her points over 15.5, minus 125. I'm sorry there. And I also like Benai Jelani. I think that is the other person that's going to step up. I think we're going to get one of Stewie or Ionescu, but it's going to be really Benai Jelani and Jacquel Jones doing what they've basically been doing all playoffs. Elijah Laney over 1.5 threes. It's a little bit juiced, minus 142, but she's hit this prop in 5 of 8 playoff games already. I've seen her in New York. She feeds off the crowd. They give her the opportunity because of all the people to leave open. She and Courtney Vandersloot are consistently open on the 3-point line because that's who they want taking the shot. And they come up big in these instances. I kind of want to take a little on Courtney Vandersloot threes, but I didn't see anything there. And I will actually take Benai Jelani up one more spot to 3 made threes at plus 198. and she's hit that multiple times in the playoffs. I'll get that number for you, but that's a really nice dog price that I like for Benaj Laney, who I think can really, really get going from three this game. So give me Benaj Lady, 3+3s, plus 198. I'm sorry, plus 198 for 3+3s, and over 1.5 at minus 142.
So win or lose, we both agree that the Liberty offensively are going to look sharper. And I think because of that, I have to go to Vandersloot assists. 5.5 for Vandersloot? That's so disrespectful on so many
Is
levels.
that really?
Yeah, it's 5.5. I got to go with the over. I just want to read off some trends here. So even though the Liberty have lost each of the first two games, she did have 6 in the first game. Only had 4 in game 2, but the entire team no-showed. So I'm not going to really read into it that much. To go through the actual numbers this season, Vandersloot has played in 48 games. Do you want to guess how many games she's gone over 5.5 assists?
All of them.
41. 85% of games she's gone over 5.5 this season. If you want to go through the last 10, 7 out of 10. Last 20, 16 out of 20. Like, I understand the argument is that the Liberty have been
What
bad.
is the argument?
No,
What is the argument?
The argument is that the Liberty have been bad and she had 4 last game. So, but my argument is the Liberty should have looked sharper offensively, worst case scenario at home. Give me Vandersloot 5.5 assists. I mean, she's going to have to play a bunch of minutes. She's still the point guard. She's actually done well assist-wise against the Aces. She's had at least 6 assists in 5 of the last 6 games against the Aces. 5.5 is so disrespectful. Give me Vandersloot over 5.5 assists as my main prop.
Man, I'm looking somewhere and I see her 8 at plus 235. Like, that's just insane to me. That's a minus 115 price for Courtney Vandersloot, and it's at plus 235. Yeah, Scott, I'm with you. I tried to get our underdog lineup early and get it going. They don't have just pure assists for underdog, which is crazy. They do have her points and assists at 16, but they don't have just pure assists.
The problem, of course, is if she's actually going to score, which is always the problem for Vandersloot. But
it's annoying. All right. Before we get into our lock dog and prop, gotta talk to the people about the Game Time app, because this is the place where tickets, just don't be stressed. You shouldn't be stressed trying to buy tickets. This should be a very quick and easy process, and Game Time makes that for you, because guess what? You can get your sports ticket, your music ticket, comedy tickets, theater tickets, whatever you can get. They're all last minute tickets, and they're the best price guaranteed. And if you don't get the best price, let's just say that you go and you find a better ticket, Underdog will credit you 110% the difference. And look, that's how you know they're a good company. That's how you know they will take care of you. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use and redeem code CFBX for $20 off. I think I said Underdog earlier. Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Enter a parlay idea into their revolutionary parlay optimizer tool, and they will break down the hit rate for the entire parlay. I played the Baltimore Ravens first half earlier, and I just thought it was free money.
Yeah, well
free
done.
money. I mean, come on. Baltimore's been there for the week already, and the Titans just got there. No sweat. No sweat. But guess what? Hall of Fame Bets told me that was a great leg to play, and so I threw it in the parlay, and now the fun begins. Now we get to the later slate, and the real fun begins. Stop betting in the dark. Join the over 30,000 users researching Hall of Fame Bets. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app and visit hofbets.com. Use codes SGPN for 50% off your first month. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right. I'm with Ron here. He didn't hear me say it earlier, but I love the team total for Liberty today. Win or lose, I think they score and they go down swinging.
But we agree on that. We're all on the same page for that one.
Yeah, so give me Liberty team total over 84. Man, should I take the first half? Or should
I was going to ask you if you actually saw first half team totals, because I was trying to look for it and I couldn't find it.
Oh, well, let's see if Bet365, because that's normally where I play those.
Okay.
Let's see if Bet365 will give me one really quick before I lock in the full game. We have...
I mean, their full game team totals at 84.5, so I'm assuming it's going to be close to like 41 41.5, 40
Here,
and a half.
42 and a half at minus
Okay.
130. I'm going to lock that in. I'm going
Okay.
to lock that in right now. So give me New York Liberty. First half, team total over 42 and a half, minus 130. I think they come out the gate swinging here at home, down 0-2 in the finals. Don't want to get embarrassed. They score a bunch of points. That's my lock. For my dog. I know what I want to do. I just got to get the number for it.
I thought you're going to take like Liberty to win between like 1 and 10 or something.
I was going to do 1 and 10. I was going to do some type of like, what's the chance? Like, I've seen this Liberty team blow this team out. What if so here's my thing. We remember the Dallas Wings game. I was stuttering like hell for a second. But because I remember the Dallas Wings game. And Dallas probably would have won that game by 10 plus if they scored in the final 4 minutes.
Yeah, they literally went scoreless for the final 4.5 minutes or 5 minutes. It was bad.
For my dog, give me New York Liberty by 11 plus at 5-1.
11 plus. Okay. All right. You think they have a full comeback?
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows I'm sprinkling on the money line. So like, and it's a really soft money line at plus 110. So I'm not about to do that. And I really don't like playing the game of the 1 between 10. Like, just give me 11 plus, and let's just say that like the Aces pack this in. Like it gets into the third quarter, the Liberty are up 10. In the fourth quarter, they're up 10, and then the Aces just say, all right, like we already have a 2-game win. We only need to win one of these games. It's so easy to just pack it in. Like, so yeah, packing in 5-1.
All right, and your prop.
I am going to Benaj Lady over 1.5 threes. Minus 145. I told you 5 of 8. Oh, I don't have this in underdog. I'm going to have to find another underdog play. But that's going to be my prop for the day. Benaj Lady over 1.5 threes. I'm also taking her 3 plus at plus 198 as well.
That's the real sad part about the game, by the way. This might be the final underdog lineup we give out.
Yeah. It really might. Wow, I didn't even think about that. And Daniel's in the chat. So defense doesn't travel when you have the best record in the league. No, it doesn't actually, because they've been it's just a thing. Like they haven't been that good defensively, like on the road. Like they.
By the way, I do want to point out, Daniel, since I actually do like the first half for the Liberty as well. Even though the Liberty have gotten absolutely destroyed based on the final score in the first 2 games, they've actually scored at least 44 points in the first half in each of those 2 games. The Liberty have actually been good in the first half.
They had a lead.
They can't stop anybody.
One.
Yeah.
They had a lead in the first one.
Game 1, they had a bunch of points in the first half. Game 2, despite giving up 38 points in the first quarter, they actually still went over this number in Game 2 for the first half team total. So this line's too short, just simply put, because even if they get buried, I do think the Liberty can score in the first half. I'm going with the first half team total over as my lock as well.
Okay.
You said it was 42 and a half?
Oh, Lamar just threw a pick. This is how you let teams back in the game. This is why I'm really annoyed with the Ravens. Like, this is how you let teams back.
Why? Because it happens every single week against bad teams.
Yeah, like literally every week.
Every week. But anyway, you said it was 42 and a half at minus 130?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take the over on that for the Liberty first half team total. Once again, despite getting curb stomped in these 2 games, they have gone over this number in the team total for the first 2 games. So this number's too low, just simply put. So I'll go with the Liberty first half team total over. My dog, I mean, it's gonna be a baby dog, but I really wanted a Liberty first half money line, but I don't think I can get away with that here because you're just gonna mock me. So I can't do that.
I am.
I know. It's not even like a minus price. Like I can't even.
No, because the line just moved to 1.5. Like you're not getting. No,
yeah, I know. I'm not going to
get
that.
I'm not letting you. Do that. You could take you could take an alternative. I give you an alternative.
What's the Liberty minus 4.5 in the first half?
Let's see here. Alternative point spread. Liberty minus 4.5. Well, I don't have a minus 4.5, but I have a minus 3.5 at plus 175. I think you'll like that.
That's first half?
Yes.
I'll take that. I'll take the Liberty first half.
That's a good bet.
Minus 3.5. They have to bring it. Like if they're down 15 or down 10 after the first quarter, they're getting killed. Like they're going to get killed in this game and lose by 30. Yeah, Daniel, I don't trust the Liberty because they've shown me nothing in the last 6 quarters. But if you want to go based on spots, we talk about this in the NBA playoffs all the time. Teams down 2-0, returning to home, really good in the first half. I feel like it's a pretty similar spot. The Aces might, potentially, I know they're a veteran team that's been there before. Maybe they've already started fantasizing about the parade because they just think that they're going to win the series and they just completely no-show the first 20 minutes. That is possible, but the Liberty have to show something. And offensively, they have shown something in the first half of each of the first two games. So I'm going to double down a bit on the Liberty first half, but I'll go in different angles. And my prop, I got to go Vandersloot assists. It's at 5.5 at minus 115 on DraftKings. Once again, she's gone over this number in 41 of 48 games this year. 85% of games she's gone over. I got to take the over for Vandersloot. She's gonna play a bunch of minutes. I'm expecting the Liberty to score more points. She went over in game one despite them getting buried. I got to take Vandersloot over 5.5 because whether it works out or not, she has a big say and a big role in this offense. Maybe bigger than it should be. But you see Ionescu standing in the corner a lot. You see Vandersloot initiating the offense a lot. I think 5.5 assists too low. I'll take the over.
Whew. Hey, underdog's catching up to the Scott. We've given out, I think, 3 props already, and none of them are an underdog.
Not right. They should have an extra amount of plays because there might be the final line of the season.
Okay, let's see here. Man, they really don't. I mean, we can do Jonquil points and rebounds at 28. I do kind of like that. I mean, she's gonna get the boards regardless. Like I think she's locked in for at least 10 boards.
I think she is too.
So 18. Yeah, let's just roll the dice. I like it. Higher, Jonquil Jones, 28 points and rebounds.
I mean, she had 22 and 10 last game. She's the only player who's shown up for the first 2 games.
Yeah, she's gonna keep going. I don't really like Benangelini's points at 14.5. I think I prefer the threes.
The argument would be the volume because she went 4 of 15 last game, so you're just expecting her to just keep shooting. But
I feel like one of these Aces games, we faded Courtney Vandersloot's 9.5 points.
I think we thought about it. Was that a regular season game or was that?
I think it was a regular season game.
It might have been Commissioner's Cup title. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I can't remember how that went for us, but I'm pretty sure we faded it.
I mean, Vandersloot had 10 points last game, but she went 2 of 10. I don't think she should be shooting.
Let's just call our shot. Let's call our shot with Sabrina, man.
She went 3 of 9 with 9 points, so I don't like Vandersloot scoring either. But Ionescu's got to do something.
Yeah, let's go higher, 15.5 for Sabrina Ionescu. She's got to show up in one game.
Okay.
No way she goes all 3 games. So that's 2. Give us one more. Want to take a lower on the Aces side?
It's either a lower or we back one of the Aces players to show up because I am kind of leaning towards either Asia or Plum.
Let's just go Asia. Asia really should like. There is a world possible.
Or points.
They don't have it.
Oh, they don't have
it. Either points and rebounds, and assists.
There are a bunch of haters on this damn platform. Okay.
Let's go with Asia, man. She's gonna try to show out.
We'll go with the 3rd place MVP finalist.
It's really crazy. All right. Sabrina Ionescu higher, 15.5 points. Jonquil Jones higher, 28 points and rebounds. Asia Wilson higher, 23.5 points. 6-1 underdog contest. You're welcome. Scott, anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
Actually, yes. Since this might be the final game that we cover, we need a full-on chat underdog contest lineup. So leave your plays.
Yeah, leave your plays as I say the rest of this, and we'll see if we can get that in before we go. But you all know where to follow us. He's at Ryshaw Radio. I am really real __. And I mean, for the 7 people that are rocking with us in the chat on this Sunday morning before football, appreciate y'all. Like the video on your way out. For anybody that comes through before game 3 of the finals, make sure you like the video. And for all the people catching this wherever you get your podcast, make sure you go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating and review right there in your podcast app.
I do want to ask you, by the way, as we're kind of waiting to see if anybody leaves some plays for the community contest entry. Assuming worst case scenario that the Aces win and the season's over, when would you want to aim for a recap episode? Because we can do it whenever. So.
It depends. It depends how bad the Liberty lose. If the Liberty gets smoked today,
for a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some time if the Liberty gets smoked. But if it's a close game and it's a good game, we can knock this out. So Monday morning or something.
Yeah,
like that.
So we'll probably aim at some point early next week, unless we are just crying for maybe a day. At least there's NFL on, which might make us feel better.
Well, since the chat didn't leave any underdog plays, that means that we're going to have at least a game 4. So I'm going to go ahead and end this before y'all try to jinx us again. We'll see. We'll be back for game 4, guys. We will. We'll be back for game 4s. All right. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just going to end it like this. Again, we are going to be back for game 4. We're out of here.